Hey everyone, welcome to Music Marketing with Kisos. Can you believe we're in week 7? We're almost at 2 months of this. That's pretty crazy. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to start finally uploading these on YouTube by the time you see this.
Daddy,
Gay Morella, thank you for the follow. Hey. I'm going to start uploading these on YouTube. Like everyone on Twitch has had to wait week by week for these for 2 months, and you're gonna get them all in like a week, baby. You'll catch up real quick, and then you need to come here, be here live, so I can answer your questions, and we can talk and shoot the shit and all that good stuff. So today, the main topic, although it might not even take that long to go over, is going to be still kind of like going back to pitching yourself, because it's been a while since we've talked about that, and just going back to the importance of subject lines, and even like on Twitch also, the importance of stream titles. I was actually more inspired to come back to this topic because I just see so many titles on Twitch that are like, if you had a better title, obviously you can't guarantee more people are going to come, but there have been so many times where people have given me raids or follows or just come to say hi directly because of my title. And that's the same thing when you're talking about PR. Like, someone's not going to open your email if you're just like, new music from indie artist. It's like, no duh, of course. Why else would you be pitching them? Just like on Twitch, if you're like, I'm playing Apex Legends, and then their game says Apex Legends. Like, they already know you're playing Apex Legends. Like, say something interesting. Say something else. Anything else would be better. But we'll get to that, because that's a little, I guess I'm just ranting today. I've been grumpy, okay? I've been grumpy this week. I got a lot to say. Okay. It looked pretty similar, James. It's just what, like, I've seen him in a ponytail, so you see the shaved sides. What was I gonna bring up first? Oh yeah, the important thing. Okay. So here's the thing. Well, actually, no, we will start with the titles, because that kind of leads into things. So when you're, in fact, I'm even gonna pull out I'm just gonna re-pull up my week 1 presentation. Dun, 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 dun. Oops, that's week 3. She's confused, but he loves it. My week 3 presentation was literally just the slide that we started on and the slide we ended on. That is so funny. Here we go. Like, when I first started working at a PR company, they made us have this specific subject line format that was just like boring. It was like, indie artist blank released this new pop single, was featured on Billboard or something. And I've said before, and I will say it again, just because you were on some big outlet does not mean anyone else is going to care about you. Shut up, James. Just because you were on Billboard doesn't mean that, like, all of a sudden everyone's going to be like, oh my God, he was on Billboard. I'm going to mute you, host. I'm just kidding. Let me do my thing. Just because you're on Billboard doesn't make you important. Just because you were on a Spotify editorial playlist, just because your song has hundreds of thousands of plays, all of that stuff still doesn't matter, because you know what? Everybody else has the same shit, okay? Everybody that you're pitching has heard all of that times a million. All these indie artists are most likely bigger than you. They have more press. They have more buzz. So you can't just stand out and say like, oh, I got Billboard. It's like, okay, you got Billboard, but that person got Paper and Huffington Post and this and that and that and this and this and that. Ha, hoo, 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 ha, he, ha. So what's going to make you stand out just a little bit more is actually telling a story. Obviously, your music is good. That's great. That's important, because people don't care about just your story. If you have the best subject line ever, but your music sucks, you're not going to get covered. You gotta have both things. And I've seen tons and tons of different amazing subject lines. And the ones that I use now are probably not even the most interesting, but they're better than, they tell some type of story. You know, they're better than just like, this person's releasing a new single. So you can see I kind of, oh, there we go. It did work. Okay. I didn't even, why did it take so long? Anyway, you can see like here, subject line study, soulful pop artist Kisos uses denial for survival on Happily Ever After. That's a little more interesting than just like soulful pop artist Kisos releases new single Happily Ever After, releases new whatever, featured on Billboard Happily Ever After. I mean, sometimes you can include that too, but don't sacrifice like a name for the story. And same here with Anna, DIY artist, numbs the pain away with electropop single. It gives you a little bit more of like, oh, what am I listening to? It gives them more like, oh, is it a breakup song? Is it this type of thing? Is it that type of thing? And feel free to get like even more clickbait with it, as long as you are telling the truth. Like, you don't want it to be like full clickbait mode of like whatever, because these people are journalists. Their job is writing headlines and judging headlines and getting better at this stuff. So don't like do anything because they're gonna be able to see right through it. But you still want to just make yourself be interesting. And going to Twitch, I see a lot of people with the most boring subject lines or like stream titles, and it's like the stream title is the most powerful thing you have to get new people to you. Hi Eva. Is the most powerful thing you have to get people to you, because I hate you guys. I want to watch that video, but I'm not going to just yet. I don't want to interrupt myself to be trolled by you. The stream title is the most important thing, especially if you're not like on a stream team, you're not LGBT, you're not, you know, playing a game that's less known. Because obviously, like if you're playing, like if you're doing music, or like when I've been doing Life is Strange, like those games have less people. Stream title might not matter as much because you're just, you know, people are just going to click on whoever. But it still does. They still got at least 20, 30, 40, 50 options to choose from. Why should they choose you? Sometimes people will come to my stream just because it's under the LGBT tag, but they might not even realize that they also clicked on me because they thought my title was funny or good or different or interesting or something. I'm going to go to Twitch real quick. I'm going to start reading some bitches. Just real quick. As a way to show how to improve. I'm gonna try to avoid people that we know. I don't want to make anyone feel bad. Let's see. Also, when you're a bigger streamer, it doesn't really matter because you have your community, but I think a lot of streamers get complacent with it and they think that they don't have to try anymore, you know? Which is a shame. Let's actually go down like a lot to some of the smaller people. Actually, wait, I saw an offender right here. Where'd it go? Warm-up games. That's not interesting. Apex Legends. We know you're playing Apex Legends. There's no point to have that in your title. Absolutely no point. Clickbait. Interesting clickbait is what that translates to. He should have maybe started with this click, because then he says he has a video with 29 kills. That's more interesting. Like, he could write high kill games. That's not the most exciting thing, but people want to see that. You know, you have to be catering to the people that you... Go watch Noob. He has 4,000 viewers. He doesn't need a title. Hi, Haley. We gaming. Come on. Like, you guys can do something. Sunday playing with viewers. No. Apex Origin. No. A girl has no name. That's something. That's something that someone would be like, hey, she's a girl. Hey, I like Game of Thrones. Hey, I want to watch more Game of Thrones girl streamers that are playing Apex Legends. Like, those are things that will get attention, even if it's not the most interesting thing. You don't have to come up with some like hot fire line every time. But you want to come up with something like, and you also, I don't know, I don't necessarily think it's funny or interesting when I see it happen, but I know that it works if you use like pop culture lines or something. So for example, like every time that a RuPaul's Drag Race episode airs, the next day I see all the LGBT channels using like the memes from that channel, like something about cysts with the Soju episode, something about opulence with Mercedes episode. Like there's something every week. And it's a way to say, hey, I watched Drag Race. Hey, I think this is funny. Hey, I'm most likely LGBT, or at least this is a safe LGBT space. These are all things that can trigger and, you know, alert the audience that you're trying to find that you're like one of them, you know, so that they have something that they can relate to. So that's that on that. And then going from subject lines into kind of the main subject of this week is how to get journalists and publications to cover you, even when, we got to open the lollipop for this, even if they say no. So I don't mean like harassing them over and over until they say yes. They are indeed, Hifa. They're from Guadalajara. They're from, I forgot the area we went to. It was not Tonalá. It was Zapopan? No. I don't know. But it was a beautiful area. And it's like a big art town. Hi, Nicole. Okay, so when I say like turning a no into a yes, like I said, I don't mean, now we're gonna eat some Mexican candy. Thank you, Haley. I almost got rid of it because it's kind of too big, but it just looks good when it looks good when I tuck it in. What am I saying? Yeah, so there's a lot of ways that a journalist might not realize they can cover you. Like, you might be too small of an artist for them. Sometimes you'll pitch a place and they can't cover you because they need the clicks that a bigger artist would bring. They have limitations. You know, you have to have like this much real engagement. You have to have hit like this average threshold of, 1,000 likes per photo or something, or have, 10,000 minimum Twitter followers, and they see that you have engagement. Otherwise, they won't cover you. But a lot of times these people want to, they're looking for indie artists. It's just a thing of, hey, my bosses are saying that I can't cover you. But typically what that means is I can't do a standalone piece on you. So a lot of times you can come up with something else to suggest to them, or sometimes you can just pitch someone out of the blue and say, hey, I think this would fit great for this type of post. Like, pitching Billboard Pride and saying, hey, I know you won't cover me just on my own as an artist because I don't have a music video, and they typically just premiere artists that have music videos unless they're bigger. But would you be like, this song is getting great engagement. Here's the story behind it. And I think it fits in with what you've covered before. Would you be interested to put it on your playlist? Where they maybe said, no, we can't premiere your song, but sure, we'll put it on the Queer Necessities playlist. And now look, I have like 500 new monthly listeners from that. Or, then sending it to another editor and saying like, hey, I just got covered by, another writer of yours. And I know, like, you don't say the part, I know I'm too small. You just say like, I wanted to send this to you as well because I know you've written these types of articles before about like, women who love women love songs, guys who love guys love songs, like during Valentine's Day, pitching myself to these places and saying, hey, this is a breakup song, this is a love song, whatever type of thing. It fits in with the Valentine's Day theme. Put me in your roundup, but say it nicer and more finesse than that. Or, during Black History Month, I think it was like last year or 2 years ago, I had an artist with like a social justice video. And I was pitched this outlet and I was like, it would be cool for you to do to have like, some more modern, like resistance type of social justice videos that you could include. Here's one of mine. Here's a couple other suggestions. And they wrote the article and they like highlighted and made it mostly about my artist. And, about like new artists in the scene that are creating this type of resistance work and protest art. And they were like, hey, that was a great story. Like, thank you so much for suggesting that. I did the same thing with like Women's History Month. I was like, here's some indie like women that I don't think you have heard of. Like, some of them are international. And I think it would be great for International Women's Day. They did that story for me. Amazing. Another artist was like, hey, I love your song, Kisos, but you're too small right now. So I'm like, hey, just keep me in mind for any like roundups that you might do for like the best songs of, 2019 so far. The best whatever songs. Another roundup of like queer artists you should know, where it's like they're not gonna again, if it's something where they wouldn't have covered me alone, now they can include me in this thing of like, okay, here's 10 queer artists. We have, 6 of them are big names that you've heard of before. Like the new MNEK song, the new Haley Kiyoko song, the new whoever. And then like, oh, number 5, Kisos. Oh, number 6, who's this other smaller artist? Oh, it's Riss, who was here last week. And that's just how you can, if someone tells you no, you can suggest something for them, because people are, everyone wants something to write about, and it's nice when they don't have to think about it, and it's something that they would be interested in. Obviously, don't go pitching, someone who only covers women artists, a playlist of, you know, gay guys who like guys songs. Like they're not going to be interested. That's not what they like to write about. So if you're a guy artist, you don't, you know, you can still say hi to that person. Maybe they're a great journalist. Maybe they can hook you up with, you know, the right person, but you don't want to go sending people incorrect pitches. You want to make sure you're doing that research ahead of time. I was going to say something else on that topic, but every time I look at chat, I get distracted because y'all are so cute and mean and annoying and lovely. Oh, here's a fun thing. So if you don't know how to Google yourself, girl, that is an important skill. So we're going to do that right now. Let me open this up again. Can I smell your shirt? There's nothing to smell. I just showered, Manuel. It smells normal. There's none of my beef scent on here yet. Okay. So obviously you can set up Google alerts. I personally don't set up Google alerts because I feel like it misses a lot of stuff, but actually Google searching also misses a lot of stuff. So I feel like you definitely want to set up Google alerts for yourself and just kind of check every once in a while. If you have a song. It's true, Yedis. It's true. Earlier, Hifa and James were like, zzz, like, and then Hifa shared some video that I'm sure is making fun of me, saying I'm boring. You guys are so sweet. For everyone watching this later, like, most of my community is like, they just are here. They have no, like, they're not like a music artist or they don't care about this information, but they're just here because they just want to be here for me. And I love it. I appreciate it. Because I'd rather talk to a chat that's making fun of me for being boring to them. No, not my 2 wrinkles. I'd prefer to have a chat that, you know, is making fun of me versus just isn't here. And I know they're doing it out of love. Anyway, let's learn how to Google. Okay, so first step, turn on your Google alerts. I don't know how to do it. I forgot. Figure it out. Google it. But once you've done that, you want to make sure, especially if you have a name that is, okay, well, let me show you first what happens if I don't put these quotation marks in. For example, if I type in Kisos, I don't even know my own name. If I type in Kisos, you can see some stuff come up with me. Cool. Those are all videos that have to do with me. This has nothing to do with me. This is a law firm. What does Kisos stand for? It's like some defunct Greek thing. Also, a lot of times, for example, if I click on my music, you can see kiosk starts popping up. Who the heck is kiosk? Daddy. Oh, Trading Keys. Thank you so much for the follow. And Manuel, thank you for the host. Where's my... where's my tambourine to celebrate? Oh, here it is. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, by the way, hi Levi. If any of you have any questions about music marketing, we can go over those stuff. I'm just kind of going through my rap right now about different things. This is week 7, by the way. So if you're coming in late, you got a lot to catch up on. Okay. So obviously if I just type in Kisos, like it will take me forever to find the right stuff. So if I really want to find out what people are saying about me in the press, I look up Kisos and I look up happily ever after, and I put them both in quotation marks. That makes it so these things have to be written exactly like this, and otherwise they won't pop up. Yedis, thank you for the host. Oh my gosh, all you guys, so sweet. So now that I've done this, you can see it has Kisos. It's all stuff directly related to me. Nothing about these law firms, nothing about whatever. Okay, so my song came out about a month ago. So if I want to find, oh God, I'm scared. Can I open it on stream? You just wrote Kisos, right? I'm going to open it. If you get me banned. Yeah, it's like the same stuff. If you just type that, it'll have that stuff pop up. But sometimes if you just type Kisos, it'll come up with that band Kiosk. It's like, bitch, I did not write Kiosk. This is me, by the way. You can find my music everywhere. So then if I'm especially looking for, you know, stories that have been written about me recently, I go to tools right here. Let's say, for example, past month. I don't know if that means the last 30 days. Yeah, it means the last 30 days. So this is everything that's come out about me in the last 30 days. Uranian Waves is a blog that covered me. That's a music video thing. That's another blog that covered me. So you can see this is all of the press that I've gotten. Album confessions. Oh my God, they're so sweet. I got more than that. But sometimes you can see it doesn't quite... Oh my God, wait. Wait. I don't know if I've seen this one. Oh my God, wait. Oh, they just shouted out. They shouted out the Billboard Pride one. I'm like, first of all, Autostraddle is a lesbian publication, so why am I on it? But also, I'm so grateful. But also, okay, I see they did that. But that's great. See, this is something that I didn't see before that now I found. I mean, I typically go by the past week. Yeah, there's nothing new this week. But yeah, I mean, that's just a way to do it. Or sometimes you go like Kisos, happily ever after. Or like, let me see. Let me do it this way again. Like, otherwise it'll pop up with stuff like this, like happily ever soundtrack CD. It says happily ever after, but it says kiosk. Girl, that ain't me. So anyway, that's just how you Google yourself. You can see the big difference that it makes when you have your name in quotation marks. Otherwise, it all is just like kiosk. Excuse me. It's definitely not Kisos. What you mean? Kisos shirtless? Oh my God. I do, Levi, because there's a lot of people that write stories about me, and I want to make sure that I'm sharing it out, because I also do my own PR. So I want to make sure that there's a lot of times you will pitch a publication, but they won't let you know that they've covered you just because they have so much going on. So you want to go find it, see who covered you, tweet it out, share it out, show the support back to the person that covered you. What? Oh my God. I'm so confused. I'm so scared. Oh, please. No, I can't show everyone. There's titties in that. I can't show everyone that picture. But yeah, if you want to see my nipples, they're on Instagram. Anyway, it's Kisos. So, those are important things. And then another one I wanted to talk about is, yeah, it's not just like Googling myself because I'm like self-absorbed, although I am. It's because I want to see who's shared me that I can share out, or if I missed anything, or sometimes there are stories that I haven't pitched that just pop up. So I make sure I find those. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is kind of going back to, I've just been encountering, I've had a lot more clients start coming to me in the last couple months talking about their issues with the last PR firm they worked with, or, publicists that they talk to on the phone, and the publicist is like, yeah, I want to work with you. Like, your music's so great. And they're like, oh yeah, what did you like about it? Like, what was your favorite song? And the publicist is like, and the artist is like, did you actually listen to it? And they're like, no, not yet. I didn't want to, but like, I just thought your picture looked cool. What? Okay, so that's a red flag. You wanna do a deep dive into these music PR firms. Now, I'm gonna show you something. I am not claiming that this PR firm is real or fake. I'm just showing you something that I was doing research into them because another artist had just finished a campaign with them. He didn't complain about them or anything. I haven't even started working with him. This was all completely neutral. I just want to show you how to research a music PR firm, kind of go through it with you live, so you can see the things that I take note of and the things that I don't. I mean, I take note of everything, but I mean, like, the things that freak me out and the things that don't. Oh, past week. I'm like, how come they're not showing up? Okay. So here's one called Liberty Music PR that one of my potential new artists worked with. So far, website looks cool. Looks like this is one of their artists that they're highlighting. That's dope. They have a little story. They have some basic stuff here. It looks like they have some different services. That's great. I'm going to go to their social media and start looking at stuff. What the heck? Where's your social media? Oh, okay. First of all, their engagement's not real, but that's totally normal for these types of things. Looks like they've gotten some good press. If you're, if you see them posting press, and you're not familiar with the, what the like website, whatever is called. Oh, I need to message this dude. I think he ignored me, actually. Oh, that's his personal. Girl, I gotta message him later. Because he has a big-ass Pride playlist. And I messaged him, but I think on like a different account or something, and he never responded. I'm like, hello, my music is good. Anyway, so Line of Best Fit, they're a top-tier publication. Attitude is a big queer publication. So you're like, okay, seems like they're doing pretty well. What's this one? Nile or Nine. That's a big, I think they're like Irish, but they're like very well known. Another Line of Best Fit, New Music Friday. It sounds like they're doing some great stuff. Complex UK. Hi, Talvo. So I'm like, okay, they seem pretty legit so far. Let me just kind of look at their like roster, who their clients are. I know, where is he? He was like messaging me right before this. Oh, I'm like, okay, I definitely recognize a lot of these people. This is past and present. So that is where you need to be careful, because Vic Mensa is a big name, but they might have worked with him for like a month back in, 2011, and he immediately dropped them because they didn't do a good job. So just because you see a big name on someone's roster does not mean that it's, a company that is going to do well for you automatically. But I have heard of a good amount of these people. Harley, Vic Mensa, let's see. Kareem, maybe, I don't know. And just because you haven't heard of them doesn't mean it's a bad thing either. Like, they all look pretty cool. They all look pretty polished. Oh my God, Devmo. I know her. She has... Okay, now I'm really curious. I'm curious to say what they did with her, because she's gotten some good press, but it's not as much as I would expect, because she's really good. Like, I know her in real life. She's a friend of mine. And Queen Irby, she's huge. That's the girl from that look photoshopped, because they are. That's what these photos are. Queen Irby is she's what's her name, from Carmen. That's her like rebranded thing. So I remember then I went to their Facebook. Let me go back. Her Facebook. And you see, ooh, I probably shouldn't be showing that on stream, but whatever. You see the Queen Irby video, and it's like, okay, how long did they work with her? I went and looked up, stuff, and I couldn't really find. It's hard to know if these people work together. But I went to like Queen Irby's social media and looked at different stuff to see like how much they work together, because there's a lot of times that PR firms, I'm not saying they did that, I'm just using this as an example. There's a lot of times that someone will use a big artist in their marketing, like Vic Mensa, like Queen Irby, people like that, and be like, oh yeah, we've worked with them, we did this and we did that. But again, like I said, it's really that they worked together for like a month, and then Queen Irby fired them because they weren't doing good enough PR. So you really got to be careful and look into it. Talk to other artists that have been on there. Try to contact them if you're not fully sure. Andreas Moss will become my new daddy. I didn't see. I was too scared of the tits on that video showing. Yeah. So just make sure you're going through their social media. You see that they're active. You see that they're posting. You check their roster, check some of the artists, go to their social media, see what's happening, because PR costs a lot of money. It's going to cost like typically at least $1,000 per month, and you're probably going to be working with this person for at least 3 months. So it's a $3,000 investment. You don't want to pick the wrong person. You want to pick the perfect person for you, or you want to wait. That's how it is. Hi, Passion Pit. So you guys are so cute. You all just entertain yourselves while I talk to the strangers out here. I was gonna throw my old PR firm under the bus, but I won't, because they are better than they used to be. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about something that doesn't quite have to do with music marketing, but is pretty important for all creators. As freelancers, as a musician, you're probably doing freelance work. You're doing a gig, you're doing whatever. Maybe you're making a song for someone, all this stuff. And a lot of times creators get stiffed for their money. You'll complete a project for someone, you'll send it to them, and they don't send you the money. You got to chase them for months, sometimes even years. So I just want to say to all my creators and all my freelancers out there, get a deposit up front. Get something up front. Get that 50% up front. If they're wary of you, then fuck them. You don't need to work with them. Because I'm assuming you've done work before. You can show a resume. You can show happy clients. And even if you can't, it's not like you're asking for the world. You're basically saying, hey, I want some insurance that you're going to pay me for this. If you're not happy with it, then, maybe we can figure out some kind of discount or something like that. But to avoid getting completely stiffed, because bitches will still not pay you, make sure that you get a deposit up front and then they pay the rest when they get that finished product. Otherwise, you will be chasing invoices and you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to waste your time on that shit. So I always charge normally I charge the full thing up front. Sometimes if I'm doing hourly work, I will charge just a deposit up front because it's kind of like, I don't know how long this is going to go, but you're going to pay me, half of the projected amount. Say, I think this is going to take 10 hours. You're going to pay me like $200 or $250, whatever that is. Don't forget the deposit. Yeah, girl, I got you. Don't worry. I got to wait for my clients to come in. Then I'll give you everything you need. I want pasta. I'm barely green yet. It's advertised that it's going to paint me green. The chat has a life of its own. You talk about serious business and we're here like, yay, shirtless Kisos, whoop, whoop. That's me. Go to my Instagram. But yeah, there's just too many horror stories. And I know there's a lot of times when maybe, if you're like a freelance journalist, people are like places that have more power. They'll just say like no, or they won't hire you. And maybe you do really need that job and you can't just say, fuck them, I'm not going to work with you. But just try to negotiate and do something because you are talented. You deserve that money and you don't deserve to not get paid for work that you are doing for them. It's agreed upon. Also, at least in New York City, there's a lot more laws in place now where they have to pay you within a certain amount of time. So you can sue a bitch, which is also just like another hassle. And a lot of people don't want to deal with that. So although the law is there, it doesn't necessarily help as many people as it could because it's still kind of, there's a barrier to going through all of that. Chicken penne pasta. Oh my God, Haley, I'm so hungry. That sounds so good. But yeah, get your deposit. And don't undervalue your work, honey. Don't undervalue your work. If you're just starting out, sure, give some discounts or whatever. But otherwise, girl, charge your rate. People, if people are getting scared away consistently, then maybe talk to other people in your field and see if you're charging too much. Or see if you could just negotiate with people. Like, I don't charge a low amount of money. I charge a good amount of money for my PR. But if someone can only afford, $500, which is still a lot of money, but to PR, believe me, you're doing a shit ton of work. Then you do, you negotiate with them. You negotiate and figure out what you can do together that will keep them happy, but not run you ragged. Because a lot of times you might work out a lower rate, but then that person, even though they understand that it's a lower rate, they'll still expect that full amount of work from you, or they'll still kind of be on your ass. And you got to just remind yourself and remind them, hey, we agreed on this. This is very strictly what I'm doing. I'm not doing more unless you pay me more. Simple as that. So send heat after them if you don't pay. Yes, my bodyguard. Okay, and then after that, I kind of just wanted to check in with you all because we're coming up onto the 2 month, whatever you call it, landmark, check, the 2 months. We're coming up on 2 months. We'll say that. Steven! Oh my God! Thank you for that resub, Steven, you lovely, lovely man. Let's put this on here. Whoo, bitch, better have my money. Thank you so much, Steven. And how are you? We're gonna be doing some music in a little bit. The last thing I want to say was, I just wanted to check in with you because we've been talking about a lot of stuff. Let me go back again to week 1. A lot of stuff, that you need to be doing for your music career. So I want to check in with you. I want to be real and be like, it's been 2 months. If you haven't started, girl, no better time to start than now. It's never too late. So here's what we need to do. Make sure that you have very similar, branding and pictures on both of your social media. You can see there's different amounts of variation here. She has the exact same thing, a different link here. This guy had very different things that he should have the same thing. or at least a little bit more closely connected things. Make sure that you're telling a story, some type of story here. I have music to break your heart and heal your soul. Anna has I like to make noise, which I think can be improved, but it's better than, just new single available here. That's not the most interesting. He does a better job here. Because we want to make sure we're leaving that impression. So check your social media, check your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, YouTube, everything that you have where you can write anything on there. Make sure it is cohesive. And then bring that over to your press release. Who are you? What are you doing? What are you releasing? When is it coming out? Why should people care about you? Upcoming news and plans, other important things about you. So I kind of focused on, obviously, my new single release. Then I told the story about, just kind of press I've gotten, which is why people should care. Began growing my community on Twitch. That's an interesting thing that a lot of other musicians haven't done. That are pitching to these places. And then I also tried to talk about how, I really like to have my music dedicated to, even if it's not about social justice issues, which it rarely is, I like to tie it into some type of charity fundraising work. So I have that in there like twice. For my friend Anna and client, we talk about like a hearing issue that is a huge part of her story that is really what started her pop career, how she was able to perform at a huge festival. She won a competition, performing on PBS and all these other things. So look at your press releases, start to come up with it, bring that shit next week. We can workshop it. Your bio as well. You want to have a place where your bio is hosted. Make sure it can be kind of like your press release, but a little more whatever. We talked about pitches again today. Basically, you're taking your bio and your press release and turning that into a pitch, and then researching the right publications. Make sure you have your list of who you want to cover. Why does that thing here? Make sure, get out. How do I delete that thing? Who knows? Make sure you have your list of who you want to cover. In week 2, we went over Spotify playlist stuff. I want to check on that with you. Remember, I also brought up, outside of some of the things that I said in here, there's TuneMunk, TuneMunk.com, which is a great place to submit to some listener-created playlists, as well as dailyplaylist.com. I got on a bunch of playlists through those. They didn't get me a ton of plays, but they got me new fans, new people on social media, even if it was just the creator of the playlist. And it did get me new listens, which, I mean, everything counts for me. Everything matters. So make sure that you're organizing yourself, you're keeping everything, you're creating your own playlist. Do you have your own playlist let? I wish I kept the amount of followers on here so I could show you how much I've grown in 2 months, but I'm sure it's been about 10 to 15 followers on my playlist, which might not sound like a lot, but I have less than 60. So that means I've gotten like 25% of my growth in just this last month. The more you share it, the bigger your playlist gets, the more other artists will share it, because the more they will see you as a big thing. And then, it's kind of this snowball effect. And then, so just let me know how you guys are all doing on everything. Because we've been going over quite a lot. So I want to see what questions you have, what maybe you want me to go back over, or what you have relating to everything that I shared here, and how you feel that, you have questions on any of that stuff. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but basically let me know any questions. I'm at It's Kisos, ITSKISOS. I'll put this back right here. We'll go right here. You can see it right here. At It's Kisos, at Hey Miller Place is my PR company. So hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, anywhere. Come into chat. I guess I'll be on YouTube now. So hit me up on there and just let me know what you want me to talk about next. Normally, I just come up with kind of topics throughout the week that I've been thinking of and come across. So yeah, that's it for this week. Week 7. We're going into month 2 next week. So I will see you then, 3 p.m. Eastern time, on my Twitch channel is where I do these. All the links are going to be, wherever you're watching this video, there's going to be a lot of links. So click those links. I will see you next week and have a great week and weekend and life. If I never see you again, just have a good life. Okay, bye.